Welcome to Whiskey One, the channel for the novice, the curious, and the connoisseur. I'm Whiskey One, and I'm here today with Andrew Dominguez from the Albuquerque Whiskey Society, a fellow member of mine, and we're here to taste a little bit of Stagg Jr. batches 15, 16, and 17. Stick around. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate all the support and the love, of course, from all of you coming to the channel, checking us out, dropping a comment. And one of the things that I've always been intrigued by is, of course, allocated whiskey. Unfortunately, there seems to be a little bit more and more of it these days. But when you talk about like some of your heavy hitters and some of your like sought after bottles, Stagg Jr. immediately comes to mind. And over the years, some folks not only get a chance to just have the one, but eventually they might have a different batch or even a backup bottle. And thankfully, Andrew was able to kind of hook us up with 15, 16, and 17. So thank you, first of all, for doing that. Really appreciate it. And I've always been curious, like, what is up between the different batches? Will there be anything different I get from batch to batch? Certainly the proof goes up, goes down slightly. But over the years, you know, these are almost like single barrels, right? They're different batches, and so you can almost expect to get a little something different out of it. So I don't know about you, but I want to get started, try these out, and without further ado, let's go ahead and do a cork pop. These will all be fresh uncorkings, except for the 16. Ooh, that's a beautiful, beautiful cork pop. So this will be batch 15. Ooh, beautiful. This is a high proof whiskey, a bourbon that really like is aggressive. This is on the aggressive side, not for the tame, not for the lighthearted, right? And so we'll just do kind of like a nice little gentle swirl there, nothing aggressive. And I don't know about you, but like, what are your initial thoughts of Stagg Jr.?
You know, it's nice. I mean, I haven't been lucky enough to find a George T. Stagg. Okay. So I'll go for what's next. And fortunately, I've been able to find from 12 on up. But they don't last long in my house.
They don't seem to last long, period. And I think that's why like so many people go hunting for Stagg Juniors. So let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to get started with batch 15.
So I think this one's the hottest out of all of them, right?
I think it is.
131.1 proof.
Yep. Yeah, interesting. So batch 15, 16, 17. The proofs are actually higher the older that they are. Not all the time, but this is 131.1. This one was 130.9, which is batch 16. And then batch 17, which just came out, is actually lower at 128.7 proof.
And this is actually going to be the last Stagg Jr. I guess after this batch, they're dropping the Junior off the name.
Look at the legs on this bad boy. First of all, the color is like a dark copper, you know, lot of heavy viscosity.
I'm also getting some beads up on mine that are just kind of staying there, not really dripping down.
Nice. Yeah, they like to cling to the glass, man, for sure. I don't know about you. Let's give this a nosing, and we'll taste.
Getting a rich brown sugar and vanilla.
For sure. You want to breathe in through your nose and mouth on this. Like if you just breathe in through the nose, your nostril will be shot. You're going to get a little burn for sure. I get like a good dose of cherry, like dark cherries. Some cola and some black tea.
Little milk chocolate.
Yeah, like you know, when you get like Nesquik. And like right before you actually start mixing it, you can smell that powder. It's fresh. It smells like cocoa for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that. And it's, I don't know. Do you know what the mash bill is by any chance?
I believe it's mash bill 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. What does that look like? Is it like, what do you know the percentages? Corn, rye?
You know, I didn't research that as much.
You know what?
I'm almost sure it's 75% corn, I believe.
So if any of you actually happen to know like the mash bill of this, like what is the percentage of rye, corn, wheat, if there is any, and of course barley, let us know, drop a comment, educate us. We may not be able to find it. Okay, I definitely get like black tea, some cola, some cherry cola, if you will, and all your like characteristic, straightforward like bourbons notes. So now we're going to dive into batch 16. And Andrew, this is like the last of your batch, right? So there's like no going back. You're going to have to hunt for another batch.
Yes, it's really delicious. So
didn't last long at all, right?
If I could find another one, that'd be great. But
yep.
It smells a little sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
I get more of a candy smell out of this one.
Yeah, candy corn, if you will. I'm feeling like the batch 15's got a lot more going on the nose, of course.
The legs on this one are...
Ooh, look at that. The oil just sticks to the top of that glass. And now the legs are starting to come down slowly, very, very slowly. So some good viscosity on this one. And now I'm ready to check out that 17, man. I think you and I ran into each other getting the batch 17, didn't we? We didn't know what we were going to get, but I was really happy to get batch 17. I heard that it might be in the draw, if you will. There were some other classic bourbons, right?
Some more delicious ones. That was actually my second bottle of Stagg, but I knew another Albuquerque Whiskey Society member was looking for one. So on this one, I'm getting a little more like sweet tart. Still candy, but more sweet tart instead of the candy corn.
Interesting. Yeah, man. And I don't know, but like if you got the same thing, because you're talking more candy, right? Like red vine or Twizzler, kind of like a note to it.
I get that.
Yeah, still some cherry, but almost artificial
cherry candy.
Yeah.
I'm noticing the legs on this one too. They're more bubbly. You know, they stick, but it's kind of like bubbles. Unlike the 16 where it's rolled around, but then the legs were coming down nice and long.
Mm-hmm. Such thick, long, and slow-moving legs on the glass.
So I'm comparing the 16 to the 17 now, and I'm getting more caramel now out of the 16.
Yes, I'm getting that too. So let's go ahead and get started, man. Batch 15, here we go. The higher proof of the three, if you will.
So it always gets me, so I'm going to take a small sip first.
Mm-hmm.
Just get that Kentucky hug out of the way.
Kind of let that palate get saturated a little bit, especially for like the higher proof stuff. Let it get in you, let it mellow out a little bit, and then start to judge with those return sips. This is where kind of taking that light initial sip and then really bringing it in on that second, third sip really comes to play. What are your thoughts?
The same. I mean, if I would have just went straight at it, I would have just told you. I feel ethanol burn.
Man, these are going to bring the heat, by the way. So hopefully you got an Uber driver.
It's got a long finish.
This is one of those, like, you better be ready for something like this. This is not for the lighthearted. Right away, like a spicy caramel covered cherry. Lots of dark chocolate and cola, black tea. Oh, but man, I think with the return sips, it's less of a burn and more of a warming hug, right? And more flavor.
I'm getting like a buttery feeling. Finish. Yeah.
Yep.
The oil's just really coating the mouth and it's staying in there.
Like chewy caramels, right? Mm-hmm. Just kind of stick a little bit to the palate. Man, so worth the hunt. And I don't know about your hunt stories, but like these are definitely worth the hunt. Like, do you have like a particular hunt story that you want to share?
Well, I just figured out that the grocery store across the street from me is a hitter. It's been, from understand that he kind of lost his distributor, moved on to a different territory.
Okay. Some of those gems that are really hard to find are going to be in your local liquor stores, not the big box chain stores or anything like that. And then you'll start to find what we refer to as like the honey spot, right? Or the honey hole, if you will. And it also pays to have like friends who also appreciate whiskey and will help you find those like hard to find allocated bottles.
Yes, sir.
So 16, here we go.
The only advantage this one has that it had been open before, so I had time to get some air in it. So.
Nice. Aerating whiskey's like a good thing. So cheers.
And so we could come back to this in a month and it might tastes completely different than what we said on the video.
Yeah, good whiskeys will evolve in a good way. Wow. Okay. Not as complex for me, but so rich and like sweet. This is more on the sweet side. What do you think?
I'm getting more caramel than I did out of this one, but on the finish I'm getting oak.
For sure.
This is where I didn't get the oak finish on.
Wow. And it's got a little heat too. Like breathing that stuff out, woo, it starts to add up. You know, we're doing all 3 batches here, so this is going to have some, my tongue will definitely be like saturated, if you will, with good whiskey. Might be shot at the end of the day.
But coming back to the nose on this one, I'm getting like a caramel corn.
Yeah.
Buttery caramel corn.
Do you get any of that, like caramel covered apple? Not the green apple, not the Granny Smith, but like your crisp, like honeydew apple?
I can see that.
I'm going to take another sip because I try not to judge too much on that initial sip. The vanilla and the caramel, and I get cocoa, by the way, really there, really starting to show up. And it's almost like the first thing you notice is the sweetness, like a depth of sweetness.
But what I'm missing on this from the nose into the taste is that caramel corn, or candy corn, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you got that more on batch 17, right?
Yeah, the sweetness in there, but this one we got the real strong candy corn on the nose. Second come around,
Yeah.
I'm not getting it so much, but I'm not tasting it either.
No, but the taste is where the caramel's at, though, right? I don't know about you, like a salted toffee, or it's got a little bit of brininess, minerality to it. I'm enjoying the batch 16. Still more going on with 15, but batch 16, this is also a hitter. You know, these are really meant to like kick back. Like you had a hard day, you want to have a hard whiskey. You want to have something that's like gonna mellow you out, give you that hug. You just sit there and just kind of get lost in the sauce, if you will. Just enjoy the moment because it does give you that like warm embrace and just such a sweet, juicy, like delicious whiskey.
And it doesn't take much, like you say. You know, you get home from a long day worth of work, you want to shower, go to bed.
Oh, this will put you to bed.
Oh yeah.
Before we like go on to batch 17, I want to mention something real quick. We decided to go and venture out with a local t-shirt company. They do different merchandise, and we decided to go with our Dark OG shirts through Black Duck, who's a local company here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm pretty sure that if you're out of state, they'll also be able to maybe work with you, and they have different sweaters, shirts, hats, all kinds of different, really, different merchandise. And I see that you have one, so I appreciate you supporting the channel. I don't know, what do you think on the shirt?
I think they're nice. I'm going to wear it more.
Thanks, man.
More than I should.
So if you're interested in getting a shirt like this, just send us an email. We'll have it in the link to our video and in the description. So hopefully you get a shirt and you get to rep some of the Whiskey One stuff out in your area. All right, man. So batch 17, or at least I, got a lot of the similar type of characteristics from the 15 on the 17, but I did notice some subtle differences across these batches. What are your thoughts on 17 so far?
Well, it's the lowest proof of them all, so we'll see how it compares.
Yeah, not as hazmat as the 15 and 16. So this is the lower proof. Again, this is a little bit closer to 128 proof.
But not low proof by any means. It's still pretty heavy.
Okay. The difference is less subtle on the taste. So more fruitier, and I'm talking like your dark fruits, a little bit more cherry. Not as Twizzler or red vine as I got on the nose, but definitely fruitier on that initial sip.
Grapey, maybe raisiny.
Yeah, exactly. Some dark fruits though, right? So far, I'm already kind of leaning towards favorites here. I'm already judging these and like, all right, I got a favorite. It's between two batches. It may not be as much surprise to you guys watching. But by the way, like if any of you have a favorite batch, drop a comment. Let us know like which one is yours, which one stands out the most to you. Also, let us know if you've tried the 15, 16, or 17 batches.
You know, being the lower of the proofs, I'm getting a little more ethanol out of this one than the previous two.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. And I wonder if that's just like, you know, that gradual hit just gets a little bit more amplified as you keep going back to these.
Possibly, but with the 16, I didn't. You know, the 16 didn't drink like 130 proof.
No, it didn't. No. It did not at all. The 15 did.
I think maybe because we started with it, it could have been a little hotter.
It could have been, and it's also the higher proof.
Yes, but then 16, I didn't get any kind of hint of.
Interesting. 16 did feel lighter. I'm with you there. Just not as complex as 15 and 17. But I'm gonna take one more sip of 17.
Like I was saying at the beginning, you know, right up front, I'm getting like a sweet tart on the front of the palate.
I could see that.
And I don't know if it's because we probably burned our sensation out already. Finished not as long as the 15, but we started with the 15 and that kind of hit us first.
You know, speaking of finish, like every one of these is a very long finish, a very long, enjoyable finish. I usually go after a higher proof whiskey. If there's a high proof versus your standard or your accessible whiskey, I'll definitely reach for those higher proof because if anything, I like being able to proof it down, or I like having the full intensity of drinking whiskey like right out of the barrel.
The same. Yeah, you can always proof it down. You can't proof it up.
Yeah. I wish you could, right? I wish you could.
But I get it. I'm like you. If I see a bottle of cask strength next to another bottle that I like,
absolutely,
I'm going to reach for it.
Yeah. If anything, I'll prefer that one. I'll spend the extra cheddar just to get that higher proof whiskey. So
I'm going to pick a favorite, but then I'm going to break them all down as to why I chose them the way I did. They're all outstanding. I mean,
let's hear it, man. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this.
So, to me, it came down in order. I mean, to me, I think the most complex with all the flavors, the longest finish. You know, I'm not basing my whiskey on which one is the easiest to drink.
Yep.
Because, I mean, I know some people do it that way. But to me, it's like this one had a lot of complexity to it. Had a nice long finish. Had a lot of complex flavors in it. And the finish just really lasts. I mean, it gives you a nice, rich finish.
And it's not just about all the heat either, right?
No, not heat at all. I mean, the easiest one to drink out of all of them for me was a 16.
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, that sat more like around 100, 110 proof. Nothing that was really too hot, but something that was like nice to drink neat all the time. You know, I didn't get... It could have been the resting that we had. You know, like I said, that was the only one that wasn't a fresh crack. That could possibly be it. But right now, I mean, for me, that was the easiest drink. And then the 17, it was good. I mean, neck and neck with the 15. I just got more flavor out of the 15 compared to the 17. But I mean, they're all delicious.
So do you have a favorite? Is it the 15?
The 15, yes.
For sure. Okay. So I don't know if we just have similar palates, similar tastes. For me, the most complex out of the three, 15 is my number one, my favorite of the trio. Then the 17 is a really close number two. I didn't get as much like cola. I got more like Twizzler, more cherry. But not as much spice or layers or different things in the spice realm that I got with the batch 15. And then batch 16. This one is tasty. Don't get it twisted. Like batch 16 is super tasty, but compared to the three, this has just got less layers of flavors. Not to say that this isn't tasty, because damn, this is tasty. I could see why you went through 16 so fast.
It's an easy drink. I mean, it just tastes delicious.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. It was just less complexity, but still damn tasty. So there you have it, folks. It looks like we both have like batch 15 as our favorites, followed by 17 and batch 16. Well, folks, Definitely like had a good time tasting these. It's always fun to share whiskey with people who love and enjoy whiskey as much as you do. So Andrew, I really appreciate you stopping by.
Let's get our favorite.
Yeah, let's get our batch 15 going here. Here at Whiskey One, it's about the one you enjoy. Cheers.
Don't forget to get the shirts and like and subscribe.
Thanks, brother. There you go.
Shut up and sit down.